What's up, everybody? Young Badman back again. Got a deck profile for you guys today. I'm going to show you Android 17 deck that I've been messing around with a little bit. You probably noticed that all the best leaders right now are blue. And this guy's not blue, so he's not one of the best leaders right now. But the deck can still be really competitive. This build is a little different though. I'm not sure how competitive this one would be right now. But it does everything that all the best decks do right now, which is play strong cards for cheap and have a lot of really powerful effects for just one energy. So I tried to kind of mimic what all the good decks are doing, but I don't have any OP cards like Unyielding Trunks and Flute. So we'll just have to see how the Android deck pans out over the course of the meta. But so let's get into the leader. He's got a permanent skill that reduces the energy cost of Android 17 and Android 18 in your hand by 1. And this is really good because there are a lot of Android 17 and 18s, so you can get them for 1 cheaper, which makes them better than using Androids in any other deck. And when he's at 6 or less life, you can draw 2 cards and flip this over. And it's really nice being able to awaken earlier because you'll have more cards to be able to defend yourself against the aggro. You'll be drawing cards early so you can help find your pieces that you need to keep you going throughout the course of the game instead of having to wait until 4 life. So, and on the back, he's got the same permanent and he's got another permanent. When your life is at 4 or less, all of your Android 17 and Android 18 gain plus 5,000 power, and that includes this leader. As you can see right now, it's just 10,000 power, but when you're at 4 or less life, he becomes 15,000, just like all the other leaders. Auto when the card attacks, draw a card, just like every other Awakened leader. So now let's get into the deck here. I'm going to do my profile like I normally do. So I'm going to start off with the Android exclusive cards. I've got 3 speedy surprise attack. This is a counter, it negates the attack, and then if your leader is an Android, which you are, you can discard a card from your hand and KO one of your opponent's battle cards with the energy cost of 3 or less. So being able to negate is really good right now. So this is a 1 energy removal spell. Yeah, you gotta discard a card from your hand, but being able to take out your opponent's battle cards so they can't flute them back or get more value out of them is really good. So that's why I wanted to include 3 speedy surprise attack. Next I got 4 Destined Deed Krillin. Just like the Ape deck with the free blocker and the Trunks deck with the free blocker, this deck also runs the free blocker. And you know, I'm trying to stick to the theme of being able to play stuff for free or cheaper. So this is pretty much another negate. It only works when you have Android 18 out though. So on the front, you won't be able to like play it turn 1, but after you awaken, you'll be able to play the Krillin for free. Next, I got 4 Trunks Protector of Children. This is the super combo that I decided to run because we don't run any of the Android search cards. And this one, in my opinion, will keep you alive better against aggro. It's better to draw a card so you can have more combo potential than force them to discard from their hand. Also, if they don't have any cards in their hand, then the Android 16 super combo doesn't do anything. That's why I decided to go with Trunks. And next I've got 2 combination attack Android 14. During your turn, when you combo with this card, if your leader is an Android, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. Every deck needs to have some removal. It's just in here as cheap removal. Once again, the effect only costs 1 energy. They do get to choose a battle card, but I'll explain later why that's not too much of an issue. And lastly, for the leader exclusive cards, we've got 3 Koei Keymaster. It's one of the sticky combos or bodyguard or whatever you want to call it. If your leader's green when you combo with this card, it comes into play in rest mode after you combo with it. So just the 1-drop 15,000, and it stops an attack from going off once you combo with it. So once again, sticking to that theme of free and cheap. Now for the main package of the deck, we've got Twin Sister Android 18 and Twin Brother Android 17. They've got similar but parallel effects. When they attack, you can discard a card from your hand and then choose the brother or the sister and switch it to active mode. So if she attacks, you can discard a card to switch a 17 active mode. It doesn't have to be this 17, any 17. And it's the same for this one here. You know, like I said, going along with the theme of free and cheap, they cost only 2 energy because of this leader. If you're at 4 less life, they have 20,000 power instead of 15, and you're gonna get more than 1 attack off per turn with these guys. So they all pretty much fit into that theme of they're cheap. So you're paying less and getting more power. 2 drop 20,000, and then you can get more than 1 swing per turn with them. That's a lot of value for just 2 energy. So that's kind of what I was going for with the deck. Next up, we've got Dreadful Duo Android 18 and Dreadful Duo Android 17. Just like the twin brother and twin sister, they've got pretty similar effects. They both have critical 15,000 power, and Android 17 has activate main. Once per turn you can pay green energy, and during this turn, and if opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less has been placed in the drop area from any area by one of your own skills, you can choose Android 18 from your hand and play it. So critical is a skill. So if you were to deal the damage to your opponent's life and they had a 3 or less card sent to the drop, which they probably will since a lot of decks are playing low cost cards now, then you can play a 17 from your hand. Well, for the 1 energy you paid. So we've got these two here. This Android 18, activate main once per turn. You can pay a green energy, and during the turn, if an opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 4 or more has been placed in a drop area by one of your skills, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO that card. Now this one, in my opinion, isn't as useful. Kind of hard to pull off in this deck, but I mean it's still there. This is mainly the one you want to try and pull off. As for the free and cheap part, they're 2 drop 20,000s, both with critical, and this can bring out an Android 18 for 1 energy, which is really good. A 20,000 beater for 1 energy that's potentially going to restand him. And this one just lets you control your opponent's board if you can pull everything off right. Next, we've got Energy Guard Android 17. This card is really good. It's a blocker, and at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. This way you can get an attack off with it and protect your life. And it only costs 2 energy, so it's got vanilla stats, but it has 2 awesome effects. And when you're at 4 less life, it's got 20,000 power, which is really awesome. This card can pretty much carry your deck because you're getting a 20,000 attack off for 2 energy, and then you're able to block an attack. And if you block something that's less than 20,000, they either have to combo up to get rid of them, or he's just going to stay on the field for the next turn. So now the boss monster of your deck, you might not think it's that impressive, but it's really good. Limitless Energy Android 17. This is probably one of my favorite cards out of the Ultimate box. It's got Barrier and Blocker, and when you play this card, if your lead card is green, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Once again, it's cheap, 3 energy for 25,000 power. It's really good. It also has Barrier, so they're not just going to be able to pop it, and it's got Blocker. That's a lot of value for just 3 energy. So once again, he's still sticking with that theme of free and cheap. And now onto the support cards in the deck. Got 4 Newfound Power Son Gohan. Or when it attacks, you can add a life to your hand, and if you do, it gains critical and 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. I only run 4, and this is the only self-awakening card I have in the deck because you awaken at 6. A lot of leaders right now have to attack to draw on the front, so they're going to be attacking your leader. So I'm kind of banking on that to awaken, but of course, you want to account for variability. So that's why I included for the Newfound Power Son Gohan. And it's just a really good card in general. And more critical in the deck too. This is another critical card to go along with your androids. And I got 3 full power energy. Really good negate, it's green. It stops an attack and KOs an opponent's battle card with energy cost 1 or less. So you can get a lot of value out of this if your opponent is playing one of the Storm decks. And then lastly, I've got 2 Further and Destruction Champa, because nothing in this deck has double strike, so we're going to need some double strike to help put on pressure and close out the game. And this also goes really well with all of the critical in the deck too. And lastly, 2 Scientist Fu, another win condition in the deck. 1 energy for 20,000 power and draw 2 cards. Another cheap card that can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. So that's the deck profile. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this deck, what you'd change. I probably want to add something like the Dimensional Banisher Fu or more Champa or something like that. So yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments below. So here's a hopefully aesthetically pleasing overview of the deck. Screenshot it, do whatever you gotta do. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.